y'all. Listen, welcome in the building. Welcome in the building. It's Sunday night. It's trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. Okay, people, if you're coming through to see the diva, do me a favor and just hit that like button. That's all y'all got to do. Hit the like button, people. Hit the like button. Listen, trending topics tonight. We taking a Diddy break. Yes, because we'll be back on Diddy tomorrow. But for right now, we're taking a Diddy break. A well-deserved break. Because we are like the unauthorized jurors in this trial. And it's a lot. Yeah, hey, Brian. Yeah, we're the unauthorized jurors in this trial. So take your notes. Because when the real jurors go to deliberate on the verdict, we're going to have our own verdict here. Yes, we are. Like and subscribe, people. Thank you, Royer. And listen, if you're not subscribed over there at Royer's World, you better go over there and subscribe. Don't miss out. So we're taking a Diddy break. But guess what, people? This Patti LuPone, I don't really know her like this, but it's something we got to talk about. She's a Broadway star. And you know, Alicia Keys has her play out there. And shout out to Alicia Keys because I'm going to go see the play in July. My girlfriend got the tickets. I'm going to see Hell's Kitchen in July. And they said that Alicia Keys' play has been doing very well. That's what the people are saying. Well, this Patti LuPone, she's a Broadway star, and she said that it's too loud. Hell's Kitchen, the play is too loud. Matter of fact, she wrote the production company over there at Hell's Kitchen. She wrote them a letter saying, please rearrange your music and turn it down. She called some black Broadway stars a bitch. Oh, she did the most. And they responded. We got to talk about this. You know why we're talking about this? We're talking about this because of the simple fact is, you know, stuff starts out small. And I'm one that says when it start out small, you nip it in the bud right there so you let people know you ain't one to be played with. If your boss comes to interview you in a robe and the underwear, you be like, deuces, I'm not that girl. When someone thinks they're going to talk to you sideways out the side of their neck, you check them. You check them. Let them know, you know, I don't know who else you do that with, but I ain't that chick. You got to check the people. And so her fellow co-stars, they checked her. They said these are microaggressions. They said you being a bully and we not having it. We're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk about Cardi B versus Offset. I feel for Cardi B because now Offset won spousal support. Ain't that something? He won spousal support. Listen, it seems like a lot of people, they don't want to believe when somebody shows you who they are. These people don't want to believe it. Way before Cardi B, and God bless her third child. But way before Cardi B had baby number 3 with Offset, she knew he was for the streets. The oldest trick in the book is to think because you having their baby is going to change them. If they didn't give a crap about you when you had baby 1, baby 2, you can have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. They still not going to give a crap about you. Allegedly, that man cheated before he even said I do. And I guess she thought saying I do was going to stop the cheating. So now here we are. No prenup. She trying to get out this thing. And he owes back taxes. And now he wants spousal support. According to her, he's not seeing the kids. Because he said he ain't coming to New York, staying in no hotel just to see his kids. He's not seeing the kids. Then she got security for the kids. She got bills. Then she says something where $50K a month she got to pay to upkeep these kids and everything else that she does for them. And he gets zero. And now he wants to take out of her pockets for some spousal support. Listen, ladies, if you pick them up off the streets, you already know what it was. He was for the streets. When you got with him, you know, jobs, I keep saying this, jobs ask for your resume and some references for a reason. It don't mean they're always going to hit the target, because you can look at the resume, you could get the references, and you can still get a dud as an employee. But at least they can say they tried and they did their due diligence. But ladies, into the men, you got to look at the resume. How many past girlfriends you had? Oh, you had 15? How many baby mothers you got? Oh, you got 3? How many kids you have? 6? Do you see the kids? Do you pay child support? Do the kids like you? Do you communicate with your baby mamas well? Somebody that's going to off the bat talk all of this nasty stuff about the baby mother, you better run, because I guarantee you this, one day it's going to be you that they're going to be saying some nasty, dirty, despicable stuff about. It will. I promise you that. Come on now, Bad Bunny. Next applicant. I ain't playing them games. Now let's talk about tragedy. Pregnant woman. She was pregnant. And the baby daddy, he killed her in the baby. He was living with the corpse. He was living with the corpse in the house for months. Can you imagine? And they only found him because he went and he killed a clerk in the store. Then when they went to the house, they discovered her. But they said that there was domestic violence issues before that. Let me tell you something. If you look like you're about to raise your hand to me, to hit me, it's going to be problems. It's going to be problems. It's very sad. Yeah, he get 80 years or something like that, or something crazy like that, but 3 people are gone. The baby, the unborn child, the mother, and this clerk at the store. All I can say is everybody needs to understand you're worth more than somebody putting their hands on you. If you get an idea, you get a little inkling that this person just doesn't like you, run. I'd rather be by myself than to be with somebody that feel they're going to put their hands on me, because it doesn't end. They don't even probably like themselves. But I done talked enough, people. Y'all know what time it is. I need a what in the chat? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Sunday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is simple. It's called Devastation. We got this Patti LuPone. She thought it was cool to just be telling people that the one show is just too loud. Well, they had a thing for her. Cardi B versus Offset and the tragic pregnant woman. Life gone. Let me bring the people on in the building. Hey, Felicia. Hey, in my opinion. Hey, lady.
Hey, Diva, choo choo.
Choo choo.
Hey
Hey,
Diva, hey panel,
Hey,
hey
Diva.
Cat.
hey. You know what? We got to deal with this Patti LuPone because when I saw this story, I said, what the heck? It was that. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. Let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Let me see this. So Patti LuPone, sorry I dissed Audrey McDonald, called Kecia Lewis the B word. She said, I'll do better. She said, I'm deeply sorry for the words I use. So Patti LuPone says she's doing something she hasn't done in all the years of showbiz. She's apologizing for speaking her mind, admitting her recent comments about a couple of fellow Broadway stars went too far. The Broadway legend shared her apology to social media Saturday, saying she hasn't apologized for her words in all her years of doing theater, but that's changing because she really wronged two talented artists. For as long as I have worked in the theater, I have spoken my mind and never apologized. That is changing today. I'm deeply sorry for the words I used during the New Yorker interview, particularly about Kecia Lewis, which were demeaning and disrespectful. I regret my flippant and emotional responses during this interview, which were inappropriate, and I'm devastated that my behavior has offended others and has run counter to what we hold dear in this community. I hope to have the chance to speak to Audrey and Kecia personally to offer my sincere apologies. I wholeheartedly agree with everything that was written in the open letter shared yesterday. From middle school drama clubs to professional stages, theater has always been about uplifting each other up and welcoming those who feel they don't belong anywhere else. I made a mistake. I take full responsibility for it, and I'm committed to making this right. Our entire theater community deserves better. So Patti LuPone says she's sorry for her comments in a recent profile in the New Yorker, where LuPone scuffed at Kecia Lewis, star of the hit musical Hell's Kitchen, for calling herself a Broadway vet. She labeled Kecia as a bitch. That's Kecia. The profile led to approximately 500 Broadway artists signing a petition, reprimanding her for being a bully, and even urging some of the huge theater associations to ban her from the Oscars of theater, the Tony Awards. The petition also mentioned how Patti called fellow Broadway legend Audrey McDonald not a friend, something that appeared to be news to Audrey. And it's safe to say the signees weren't cool with that dig either. Later on in her apology, LuPone addresses the public outcry, claiming the letter reminded her that theater is supposed to be uplifting, and her comments was far from that. She hopes to apologize to the 2024 Tony winner Kecia and six-time Tony winner Audrey for her comments. If you're not in the Broadway loop, Patti's beef with Audrey and Kecia dates back to a noise complaint where Patti called Hell's Kitchen, a predominantly Black show, too loud. LuPone was performing in a play next to the show, and she's upset her audience could hear Hell's Kitchen through the walls. Now, this is Kecia's response to Patti. Let's take a listen.
Hi, my name is Kecia Lewis, and I am an actress currently performing in Hell's Kitchen on Broadway. This is an open letter to Miss Patti LuPone. Miss LuPone, I want to make sure that you know that this letter is from me, not from the cast or crew or producers of Hell's Kitchen. I am speaking for Kecia Lewis only. I hope that you will take 5 minutes out of your day to listen to this letter in its entirety. Ms. LuPone, I understand that there have been a couple of situations that have gone on in the last few weeks that I want to address. The first one is that you contacted our theater owner about changing a couple of our sound cues because you found them to be too loud. You also, after our sound design was adjusted, sent flowers to our sound and stage management team, thanking them. Another thing that I'm aware of is that you dismissed publicly signing a fan's Hell's Kitchen playbill because
I'm not signing a Hell's Kitchen. They're too loud.
I wanted to address this because, Ms. LuPone, these actions, in my opinion, are bullying. They're offensive. They are racially microaggressive. They're rude. They're rooted in privilege. And these actions also lack a sense of community and leadership for someone as yourself who has been in the business as long as you have. I want to explain what a microaggression is. These are subtle, unintentional comments or actions that convey stereotypes, biases, or negative assumptions about someone based on their race. Microaggressions can seem harmless or minor, but can accumulate and cause significant stress or discomfort for the recipient. Examples include calling a Black show loud in a way that dismisses it. In our industry, language holds power and shapes perception, often in ways that we may not immediately realize. Referring to a predominantly Black Broadway show as loud can unintentionally reinforce harmful stereotypes, and it also feels dismissive of the artistry and the voices that are being celebrated on stage. Comments like these can be seen as racial microaggressions, which have a real impact on both artists and audiences. While gestures like sending thank you flowers may appear courteous, it was dismissive and out of touch, especially following a formal complaint that you made that resulted in the changes that impacted our entire production. Primarily, the people who have to go out on stage and perform the work were impacted. This kind of gesture can unintentionally downplay the challenges caused and sidestep the meaningful dialogue needed to address it fully. True collaboration means direct communication, respect for the work being done, and awareness of how actions resonate across diverse teams. I consider these actions bullying. It can be considered bullying, especially if it involves exerting power or influence in a way that negatively impacts another production without consideration for that impact. Bullying in a professional setting can include exerting influence to disrupt, using one's status or connections to cause unnecessary changes to someone else's work environment, such as requesting sound adjustments. Performative gestures are also bullying. And what I mean by that is by sending thank you flowers after impacting the production can be perceived as disingenuous, particularly if it sidesteps meaningful dialogue or resolution. If your actions come across as undermining or attempting to assert control over a neighboring production rather than collaborating respectfully, they can certainly be seen as crossing into bullying behavior, even if it's unintentional. Recognizing and addressing this will help create a more respectful and supportive community. I'd like to offer a couple of thoughtful questions for veterans such as yourself, and including myself, we can consider to support community building, equity, and inclusivity on Broadway. How do my actions or my words impact the artists, crews, and productions around me, especially those from underrepresented communities? How can I ensure that my feedback or my concerns are communicated in a way that is constructive and also, most importantly, respectful? How can I use my platform and experience to support diverse show teams, promoting the idea that every production brings unique value to Broadway? These questions can help veterans such as yourself and myself included reflect their influence within the Broadway community in a positive way and promote a culture of respect, empathy, and inclusion. In conclusion, on Broadway, we are not just neighbors, Ms. LuPone. We're a community that shares in each other's artistry and challenges. Respect and collaboration are what keep us thriving and inspire the next generation. It's important that we support each other's hard work on and off the stage. So let's lift each other up and show that every show on this street called Broadway deserves respect and celebration. Let's continue fostering an environment on Broadway that recognizes and values all shows for their unique contributions and energy, and that celebrates the diversity of voices and sounds and stories that we all bring to the stage. Ms. LuPone, I respectfully submit to you that you owe us an apology, not flowers. Thank you for listening.
Ooh, child, you better tell the people how to read. Lewis shared a video on social media where she blasted LuPone's comments as racially microaggressive, and she called Patti out of touch for reaching out to theater owners instead of the creators behind the show about her issue. Audra shared support for the video in the comment section at the time, a move Patti labeled as typical of Audra. She's not a friend. Now it seems Patty's coming to her senses, though we'll have to wait and see if it's too late to mend fences with Kecia and Audra. Whoo, it's a lot. It's a lot. Felicia, your thoughts?
Well, good evening, everyone, and happy Sunday. And Patti is out. You know, Patty's old. She's been on Broadway on and off, but she went after Audra. That's a mistake. Nope, that was a mistake. And then she goes after Alicia Keys. Her production, I mean, that show has been red hot for almost 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So who's going to see her in The Roommate? Who's going to see her? It's a very quiet production. I think it's a very, very few people. And so, of course, I've seen Hell's Kitchen. It was like when I went to go see Tina on Broadway. They had a full band. It's loud. People are singing and dancing and performing. Maybe that was something that the producers should have considered when they put a dramatic monologue next door to it. But she was out of line. And she's right. I believe everything that she said and how she approached it. I support Miss Kecia. That's the way to put people in check. And so no, Patti, no invite to the Tonys. And I gather her show will be closing before summer starts. I'm done.
Thank you. In my opinion, your thoughts? In my opinion, are you there?
I think she told the truth. People think that when they say these words that it's not hurtful or it don't harm you. But these microaggressions we've dealt with for a very long time, and we just not gonna put up with it no more. I'm glad that she told her the truth and let her know that this was a form of racism and microaggression. Because saying that we're too loud, that's almost like saying we ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a lot of black Broadway shows. And so when somebody makes these complaints and say, okay, I'm not signing an autograph because they too loud, you diminishing the work that they put into it. You diminishing they whole thing. It's sad because in this day and age, we are tired of having to bend over backwards and having to acquire more than the next person. But when y'all shows are as loud, it's entertainment then. It's not too loud, it's entertainment. So please don't do that to us.
Lady Love?
I got one question. Felicia, did you write that? Did you write that lady's statement? Um, she just told her how she felt. And yes, that was being a racist, microaggression against them. And if you had a problem, why you just didn't address it to them or talk to them and not the production people? Why didn't you just talk to the cast and let them know how you felt? And like Felicia said, maybe they shouldn't have put her next to a show like that. So that means your show is boring and their show is loud and getting all the people. Don't blame production. Blame the people that got your show that's over your show. And the lady just told her right. She told her exactly how she felt. And she wasn't nasty about it. She was professional about it. But she got her point across by talking to her like she was a lady. And that's something a lot of them don't do. So Miss LuPone can take it or she can leave it. But if I was her, I would take it because the lady gave you good advice. That's all I got, David.
Thank you. Wayne, your thoughts?
Talking about a professional read,
Mm.
and she summed it up in a few words. You don't owe us flowers, you owe us an apology.
Mm.
This lady, I don't know if my words could have been so, I have to work on that. But she read this lady up and down, left and right. Because with this woman, which what she was trying to say was ghetto. When they talk about loud, all this stuff, you know what they're trying to say? Blacks, ghetto, or, you know, that kind of a stereotype. But if she didn't catch this read, she will. If she didn't catch this one, I don't know. I don't think she's gonna be able to live this down. And it's on social media. It's out. This lady got ate up, and this is a perfect example of FAFO with words.
Thank you, Wayne. I appreciate you. I thought her response was very elegant. I thought it was. It was very professional, and she made it clear from the beginning. I'm not speaking on behalf of the production company. I'm not speaking on behalf of the cast. I'm speaking for Kecia Lewis, okay? I'm speaking for myself. And what you did was just dead wrong, and you should have spoke to us, and you should be apologizing to us. That Broadway community, it is a small, that's come on, Special K. It was the drop the mic moment for sure. That Broadway community is a very tight-knit community. I know a lot of people that work in those Broadway plays, and they do not get paid a bunch of money. They do not. And to be, thank you so much, John. I appreciate you. And they do not get paid a lot of money, and it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of rehearsal before they even have their first opening night show. And just imagine, this is not TV where they can say cut and then they have to do this thing over again. This is something that, you know what, when they go on stage, they got to get it right 100% of the time. And granted, maybe they do make mistakes, but it's mistakes that they're so professional that they keep going and none of us know. So I think Patti was being real messy. Messy's an understatement. And then to tell a Broadway play goer, I'm not going to sign your a Hell's Kitchen playbill because that show is too loud. Just disgusting behavior. Disgusting behavior. But Kecia, very well spoken. That was a read. That definitely was a read. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this Cardi B versus Offset thing. I feel for her. I feel for her. But as much as I feel for her, it is also a telltale sign that, you know, we have got to start doing better. There's so many females that don't have the name Cardi B that bump their head against the same wall. After baby number 1, you knew what it was. All right, so you have baby number 2. Then you're going to have baby number 3, and you expect this man to come see his kids, to help take care of his kids. And you know, come on, she know for the most part, she was the one footing the bill in that family. But I will say this, she does. Well, let me go ahead and get into it so we could just get right into it. And the question is going to be for y'all is, do you think that Cardi B should have to pay him child support? Well, I mean, not child support, spousal support. We'll get into it when we get to that. So Cardi B to Offset, I hope your week A dies slow, furious over spousal support filing. I will say this, I do not like the way that she is crashing out on social media, because 2 of her kids are definitely old enough to know. But this is something that never is going to go away. And no matter how mad you are at the father of your children, you got to lay low, keep it low, and keep it to yourself. Let's take a listen.
That I'm waking up right now to see that this and his team, I know it's not his team. I know it's his gonna tell the Breakfast Club the only reason why this motherfucker asking for spousal support, because I was asking for everything. And because I don't be with my kids. Yo, you such a word to my mother. I want you to die, but I want you to die slow. When you die, I want you to die slow in the bed. And while you die, you gotta think of me. So why you saying that you're asking for spousal support? Because I'm trying to take the kids from you. The kids is always open to see you all the time, and you know it. You talk to my kids every single day. It's not my fault you don't want to fly to New York. Now, you're saying that I'm trying to take everything. What you mean I'm trying to take everything? The cars that you gave me, I gave you cars too. You gave me the Rolls Royce truck. You gave me the Rolls Royce truck. You gave me the Lamb truck. And the day that I bought my Maybach, the Maybach was $170,000. And I didn't have the $70,000 that day. I had to get it the next day. So you just put the $70,000. You want those cars so bad, you could get it. But then you want to talk about the houses. You want to talk about the houses? First of all, my Jersey house, I bought that. And you tell me myself, if you buy a house in Jersey, I'm not helping you think, because I don't want a house up north. But you know, my dream was always to have a property in New Jersey, in New York. So, of course, that's going to be my property. I bought that with my sweat and tears. The Atlanta house, you have put me with the bill the last year. The last year, you have put me with the bill. Just like you left me the last year, you have left me with the kids' bill. The last year, you have left me for a whole year straight. You have left me with the kids' bill. Y'all want to know what's the kids' bills? Start adding. Y'all need to start adding right now, right? So my kids got their own driver. They picked them up from school, they dropped them off, and they take them to gymnastics and to wavy unboxing classes. The kid's driver is on a retainer for $10,000 a month. So that's $10,000 a month just on a driver for my kids. All right, cool. Culture school this year, you didn't pay for it. That's $45,000. Wave school a year is $35,000, which you didn't help me pay for it this year at all. My cousin babysits Wave and Culture. She gets paid $3,000 a week. The nanny was $700 a day, but because she's only staying in the daytime, $500. Don't call me. Nobody call me. Nobody call me right now. The baby's nanny is $500 a day now because she's not staying the whole day. Culture and Wave gets tutoring 4 times a week by the hour. So that's 2 hours, 1 hour for Culture, 1 hour for Wave. Each hour is $250. So count that up. That's 4 times a week. Culture pianos class. That's $300 an hour, and she gets piano class 3 times a week. I'm not sure how much is gymnastic and wave boxing classes, but I pay that too. And you have left me with that bill for a whole year. Have I asked you? Have I asked you for anything? Have I asked you for anything this whole year? Have I asked you for anything? Kiari, have I asked you for anything? Because you want spousal support so bad. And mind you, this is not, and mind you, this is not even including food. So my kids have a personal chef that come from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. that I pay for. Because people in my house don't have time to cook. My cousin don't have time to cook. My mom that be helping with the kids don't have time to cook. So I need a chef. So my kids eat whatever the they want because thanks to me. Also, my house have a security in front because, our daughter constantly used to get threats, rape threats, death threats. So I have a security 24 hours in front of my house, which I pay as well. And you don't help me with none of it. You haven't helped me with a bill for a whole entire year. And you know what's so crazy? I wasn't even gonna say nothing because my always tells me, yo, I don't want you to address nothing anymore. And I be trying to keep it cute. But for you to call the Breakfast Club and be like, oh, the reason why I'm asking for spousal support is because she wants everything. Everything like what? Everything like what? The gifts that you gave me? You want it back? All right, so give me the gifts that I gave you back. What you want money for the house for Atlanta? Fine, we could split that. Whatever the you put down on the house, we could split that. I don't give a. My house in Jersey, I bought it myself, so you're not getting from my house that I work my ass off. I don't even ask you for anything for the kids. All I ask is for you to spend time with them, and you haven't spent no time with them, bro. You're a. And I keep and I don't with your family, but I even be calling your family like, yo, I don't know what's going on with you. You are mentally disturbed right now. And then when I don't be with my kids, where I be at, Offset? Where I'm at? I'm in Atlanta right now working. I want to be in Atlanta in this small hotel room. I don't have not one friend, not one family member out here. I don't have nobody out here. Y'all don't even be knowing that I be in Atlanta because I don't even go out in Atlanta. I don't know nobody out here. And when I fly out on the weekends, I fly out to my house in New York. And I spend times with my kids and I spend time with my man. He acting like I be out and I be a whole week with a no. I be with a for once a week, 2 times a week. It gets to the point that my man go see me because I don't got time to go see him. He makes time for me because he know I'm busting my because he know how much this new era for me, my tour and my album means so much to me. But you don't like that. You don't like that. Stop calling me. So for you to try to make me look in the media like I'm a deadbeat mom, well, please tell the media how you left me with a $50,000 a month bill that I haven't even asked you $1 for. Please go say that. When you make it seem like I'm a deadbeat mom, Belcalis, Marlenis, Almanzar pay over $50,000 just on her kids alone. Just on her kids alone. Me! My money, my hands. I could have a good month. I could have a bad month. I could be depressed. I could be in a fucking room. But guess what? I have to pay that bill. No help. With no help. No, nobody. Me. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Those are my kids. I'm cool with that. Don't faze me. But you're not going to sit here and try to bash me as a mother when I pay for everything. Because you left me with a bill for a whole entire year. And I haven't said a thing. You don't even offer. So stop playing with me. Then I'm trying to keep everything.
Oh God. I mean, do I need to read the rest? Let me exit out. Offset does owe back taxes. This is a mess. What are we doing with this, Felicia?
I dislike this woman deeply. I don't like the way she speaks. I don't like what she's talking about. Last year, she told us she would bite us for this man. So my commentary is done. I'm done.
In my opinion, your thoughts?
First of all, I think Offset is trash for asking her for spousal support. I think he trash. I think it's trash that he sat here and had multiple affairs on her, drug her through social media, made her look like a fool because every time she took his behind back. And now you want her money on top of that? You've been spending her money the whole marriage. Offset is a trash nigga. I'm glad she getting rid of him. She need to dump him in the trash. And I pray that the judge don't give him a penny. He need to be paying child support. She ain't responsible for his tax debt. That's his debt. He should have been paying his taxes. She paid us. He should have been paying his. It take two people to lay down and have children. He laid down and had him. He should have been man enough to be able to take care of him. He better go out there and call rest the what you calling them and make another album or something. I don't know what to tell him, but he better not be looking for no money from her.
I appreciate you. Wayne, your thoughts?
Well, I hope he don't get nothing. Now, what? I mean, hold on.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Diva?
Yes, I can.
Okay, because my phone rang. I hope he doesn't get it because, like Opinion said, he cheated on her. Yeah, she chose a bad person, and had kids, but they here now. Okay, now what this may backfire in Offset's face. Okay, because he ain't got no job, but he not making his money. That's not Cardi's problem.
Right.
That's not Cardi's problem. Okay, and I'm just going to what she said. She been paying everything. That's a lot of money to be paying, regardless of whether people think they need it or not. That's their money. That's the way they want to live. If she can afford it, great. Okay, but if she does accountancy or whatever on him, and he ain't paid all those things the mortgage, all this other kind of stuff, just say, okay, well, you need to pay her that. But why he should get spousal support is just ridiculous. That's it.
Thank you. Katrina, your thoughts?
As I said before, Cardi B words came back to her while she was saying that about Peter and Amina and I forgot the other girl name. But anyway, she said he had them looking crazy on TV. And now he got her looking crazy in these streets. And the thing, if you went a whole year, she said she didn't ask him for anything. So he out there tricking with his women, spending money, doing this, doing that. She at home taking care of the kids, the rent, the expenses for the kids, the cars. Child, you can hire me to be your driver. I mean, $10,000 a month just to drive somebody to school and back into their little activities. Oh yeah, and she's doing it by herself without asking him for a dime. And here you come a year later trying to get money out of her. And the sad thing about it is, even though those are his taxes, but by her being married to him, I don't know if she was married to him at the time when the taxes started, but anyway, if you still married to that person, those taxes also falls on you unless you file some type of amendment. But more than likely, if you're married, those are your taxes as well, unless they change the law.
Depends on
But
how they
as
file. They could have filed separately.
they can file separately, but if they see that he was still married to her, and the folks can see them taxes, they gonna still come after her as well. They changed the law because back in the day, when the men used to get sued for child support, Bill Clinton put an order in that the women money can't be touched, and then they changed the law again. But I don't know, Wayne. I don't know. But the thing of it is, man, you went a whole year without helping this woman do anything. And Cardi, you played yourself. This man did not only cheat on you, he cheated on you before you got married. He cheated on you while you was pregnant. You had another baby. He cheated on you again while you pregnant, while you was in labor and all that. Then he cheated on you again before you had this child. So, girl, you wanted these babies with this loser. It's not because you didn't know he wasn't a loser. And I know you was in love with him because she loved him to death. She was about to go to jail over him for having somebody beat up a girl at the strip club. And then that would have been turned me off right then and there. My life is in jeopardy because I'm fighting over you. No, ma'am. So you knew exactly what you got, and you went after it, you got it, you received it, and now you're gonna have to deal with it. But I definitely don't think he should get in on her money. I don't think that. And he can't go with the Migos because the best one of the Migos is gone. So maybe you can find something else. Go do them skits that you doing dressed up as James Brown. I don't know. Make your own money. Leave that girl money alone. Especially when you're not even seeing the children. Man, you are a deadbeat father as you was with your other kids. So, like I said, Cardi B, you asked for it. This is what you got, darling. Sorry.
Ooh, thank you. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll right into our last story, which is pretty sad. The last story is let me just go ahead and get right into it. People are sick. People are really sick, and I don't even know what more to say. So, convenience store shooting leads to discovery of a pregnant woman deceased for 2 months, the police say. That is the man that killed a convenience store worker and his pregnant girlfriend. At the shooting with no apparent motive in Maryland that left a convenience store clerk dead, police tracked the suspect back to his apartment where they uncovered something even more shocking. A man in Maryland will likely never see freedom after he was sentenced on Friday to 3 consecutive life sentences, years for the first degree murders of Anilu, a 61-year-old convenience store clerk, and his pregnant 26-year-old girlfriend, Denise Middleton. He will concurrently serve 80 years for a long list of other charges. The suspect purportedly had a long history of DV, according to the news. He won't be eligible for parole until he is in his 90s. He was charged with 3 murders for the deaths, with Moore becoming the first individual ever convicted in Montgomery County for killing a viable fetus, according to the news. Family Middleton had already prepared to name her baby Ezekiel, per the outlet. Who knows how long Middleton's death might have gone undiscovered had he not did this senseless crime on December the 8th, 2022, while he was working. After a lengthy investigation, police believe they've been able to uncover what happened, if not why. According to the Montgomery State's Attorney Office in a press release, Tory Damian Moore, 34, was already banned from the Dash Inn convenience store where he worked when he came in anyway and grabbed an iced tea. It wasn't long, though, before the suspect was allegedly throwing items from the front counter at the worker. After enduring this unexpected assault, the worker purportedly grabbed a metal pole from behind the counter and tried to defend himself by striking Moore across the counter. He went in there itching for a fight, said Montgomery County Circuit Judge Rachel of Moore, per the Washington Post. He went there with a loaded weapon. It was at that point, the police said, Moore stepped back, pulled a silver handgun from a front vest pocket, and fired point-blank range at the worker. When his victim collapsed to the floor, Moore allegedly reached over the counter and pow-powed him again multiple times before fleeing. He then purportedly picked up his iced tea from the counter and walked back across the street to his apartment. The entire altercation was captured on surveillance cameras inside the store, per police. He was my everything, his widow said in court before the sentencing. I am heartbroken. The following day, police were able to track their suspect. They tracked their suspect in the shooting to his apartment across the street, where they conducted a no-knock raid. It was at this point, however, that the real-life story became tragically worse than they ever could have imagined, said the state's attorney, John McCarthy, in a statement. So let me play this for you. Let's take a look.
Of murdering his pregnant girlfriend, their unborn child, and a convenience store clerk will likely spend the rest of his life in prison. Today, a Montgomery County Circuit Court judge sentenced Tory Moore to 3 consecutive life sentences. It is the first time someone in the county was convicted of killing a viable fetus. News 4's Walter Morris has the story. A warning, the details are disturbing.
More than 2 years after a violent killing in this Montgomery County convenience store and a disturbing discovery of a pregnant woman's decomposing corpse across the street, the man convicted of the crimes, Tory Damian Moore, learning his fate.
He was convicted of 3 counts of first-degree murder, and Judge McGuckian gave him a sentence of life for each of the 3 murders.
Joined by the victim's family, state's attorney John McCarthy applauding the judge's sentence, saying this is the first time someone has been convicted of killing a viable fetus in Montgomery County. Prosecutors say there was a history of domestic violence.
The child turned out to be the defendant's child.
Investigators say it all started in December 2022 here at the Dash and Convenience Store on New Hampshire Avenue when Moore got into a deadly altercation with Ayalu Wandamu, shooting the clerk and taking off. Not long after, investigators tracking down the 34-year-old at his apartment across the street, where they discovered Denise Middleton's decomposing body. Prosecutors say she had been there for about 2 months.
Denise Middleton was 8.5 months pregnant. Her child was due to be born in 2 weeks.
During the trial, this surveillance video from the apartment complex entered as evidence. Prosecutors say it captures the last moments Middleton was seen alive in October 2022. The state's attorney also showing this body camera video of Moore's arrest. They say after Middleton's murder, he left town for weeks and came back, even looking up ways to cover up his crime.
He did computer searches, both on his phone and other, to find out about, well, how long does it take before a body begins to smell? How do you cover up and defend yourself for murder charges? He was Googling different things to set up a defense.
Prosecutors say Moore stayed quiet during the sentencing, offering no explanation for the violent crimes.
I would have liked to hear him why couldn't he call me, because he had my number. But, you know, that's something that he kept to himself.
And the state's attorney says Moore used the same gun for all of the murders. He will also serve an 80-year concurrent sentence for a long list of other charges. In Rockville, Walter Morris, News 4.
Super sad. Immediately detecting a terrible smell that was obvious to the officers, they quickly discovered there was another victim. Only this one had been deceased for quite some time already. Under a blanket on the floor in the back room of the apartment, police discovered the remains of Middleton, who was 2.5 months pregnant with Moore's child at the time of her death. She had been shot 7 times. After further examination of the body, which was described as an advanced state of decay, officials determined she had been dead some 2 months. The same pow had been used in both shootings. They then began digging further into Moore's activities over the past few months. They found surveillance video of Moore and Middleton walking into an elevator together on October 9th, 2022, at the apartment complex around 7 p.m. As described by the news, the footage showed Moore grabbing Middleton in the lobby before pushing her towards the elevator. Inside the elevator, security footage shows Middleton moving to a corner away from Moore, appearing to wipe tears. This would prove to be the last sighting of Middleton alive. Officials believe that the couple had an argument that got physical, and this is when Moore shot Middleton, leaving her body there. According to the investigation, police stated that that he left the apartment about an hour after they arrived together, and then spent the next month traveling around the country with WRC reporting he went from North Carolina to Carolina and back. While he was away, examination of the suspect's Google search activity uncovered queries relating to covering up his crime and disposing of Middleton's body, as reported by the news. How long does it take for a dead body to smell? How to move a dead body without being seen? How to plead insanity. In early November, evidence shows that Moore moved back into the apartment where he continued to live with Middleton's body until police arrived on December the 9th. Moore was convicted of first-degree murder of the store clerk, as well as related firearm charges on May 16, 2024. Then on November 22nd, 2024, he was convicted in a separate trial for 2 first-degree murders for the deaths of Middleton and her unborn child. There is no clear motive for either killing, with Moore offering nothing as he remained silent during his sentencing. After his sentencing, Middleton's father, Dennis Middleton, expressed his frustration, saying, "I really like to hear why. These acts are not a byproduct of a cold and calculated individual, but one who has struggled with his mental health for his entire life," wrote Assistant Public Defender Roberto Martinez in court findings. The very fact that Mr. Moore was sleeping in an apartment with Miss Middleton's body emphasizes that Mr. Moore's mental illness brought him out of touch with reality. If you are experiencing DV, call the National DV Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 or go to the hotline.org. The hotline is available 24/7 in more than 170 languages. Calls are confidential and toll-free. Felicia, your thoughts?
Wow. I'm so glad that I don't know anything about that life. It's just horrific and it's insane. It's insanity. And the video of the apartment complex, people live close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
There was 7 shots fired.
Mm.
Anybody else harmed? That has to be noisy.
Right.
But they probably were fighting all the time, and folks just cued them out. Just said, this is what they do. 7 shots is a lot. So I think parts are missing here. I'm not one to get involved, but if I hear 7 shots, I know how to pick up the phone and call the police. And we saw the video of how they had to take down that door. Did you see that?
Yeah.
How they had to go in there with a boomerang or something to take down that door. And so she was living an ugly life. And she was prepared to have a child with that ugly monster. That's a monster to me. And she was so trusting that she got in an elevator when he was already being physical with her in the lobby. She didn't feel loved. She didn't feel protected. Oh, she thought he was the best that she could do. My condolences.
Yeah. Whew. In my opinion, your thoughts?
It's such a tragic story to know that 7 shots, nobody heard anything or called or nothing. It really is sad. It's even more sad that nobody even noticed that she was missing. You know what I'm saying? Noticed that she wasn't around anymore.
Yeah.
Just
Talk
got so
about
many. I just got so many questions that there's no answers, and it's so tragic because not only did we lose her life, but you lost the unborn baby's life. It's like 2 lives tragically gone for no reason. And we still don't have the answer to the questions. Like, I just don't understand how she stayed there. Nobody noticed that, hey, we ain't seeing her no more. Nobody heard the 7 shots. So it's a lot of questions. I can't understand it.
You hit a key in my head because the dad was like, he had my number. You didn't hear from your daughter in 2 months, and she was pregnant, and you didn't. Yeah, this is Wayne. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, since I ain't really for the death penalty, but I think he should be put away. This, trying to plead insanity. You look up how to plead insanity, and then they want to say because he must be insane if he stayed in the house with a body like that. No, that's just evil. That's just evil. He does not need to be on the street. They need to put him away, have about an hour a day to get out. He does not be. I'm not one for throwing people away, but he threw 2 lives away. No, 3. Brutally. So I have no sympathy for this man. And I usually have sympathy for people, believe that, maybe they can be rehabilitated, they still got life. But this maybe it's because of this story and it's the child, but when you brutally, take people away like that, it's like you have no respect for life at all. So why should we respect your life? That's why I feel. I could be in my feelings, but that's the way I feel about it. That's it.
Thank you, Wayne. Katrina, your thoughts?
I'm with you, Wayne, when they keep talking about this mental state whatsoever. You was in such a mental state that you left and for a whole month and went somewhere else. Well, people need to look into the states that he went to and see if anybody unalived in those states, because he probably did those as well. Then you come back and you unalive another person, and then you go home, laying down to go to sleep in a house with a decomposing body. And I know that body had to be smelling. Oh my God. That is the worst smell that you can smell, is a decomposing body. So now he's crazy because he was laying in the house. No, he ain't crazy. He knew exactly what he was doing. Because if his mental state was that bad, why did he know to come back home? You was going away for a month. You traveling around the world. You wasn't that mental unstable then, unless you was going to each state wherever you was going and unaliving people. And then like the people said, I am shocked that they're holding him responsible for the baby life, because normally they say a baby is not a person until they take their first breath. So I'm glad whoever prosecuted that case added that child in there with that, because this is horrendous. This is horrible. And like y'all was saying, like nobody wanted to know where she was. The doctor didn't. Well, maybe they thought that she changed doctors, but obviously they was already having an argument. Maybe she wanted to leave him. She got down to the elevator. He made her get back on the elevator. Who knows how scared this woman was? She was already crying. She was already going through something. And then then this man went up there and unalived her. And if your mental state was that bad, why you didn't take your own life instead of taking somebody else's? He don't deserve no parole. They giving him life. But the thing of it is, they didn't say life without the possibility of parole. So if anybody don't go to his hearings or his appeals, he can get out unless they have a good defense person there stating why he can't get out. This is sad on so many levels. And like I said, they always try to use that mental thing. You that unstable, you that mental. Why take somebody else's life? Take your own. That's all I got.
Ooh. Well, I'm going to close out, and my closeout is a good news. I talked about the other day on this high school graduate working for Burger King. Right after graduation, he went to work, was helping his fellow co-workers, and a perfect stranger saw him, started a GoFundMe. When I last did the story, the GoFundMe was at $45K, around about there. It has since blown up to $130,000. Let me just give this quick update. I think this is amazing for this young man. There's good people out there in the world. So GoFundMe, let me just X out that. GoFundMe for a team who rushed to Burger King shift after graduation skyrockets to $130K and keeps climbing. A fundraiser that went viral when a stranger shared a TikTok. Let me just pause that. When a stranger said a TikTok about a Georgia teen who rushed to work a Burger King shift hours after his high school graduation, has raised more than double its goal this week, and the sum is still swelling. The From Burger King to College Dream fund skyrocketed to nearly $130,000 as of Saturday afternoon. A mouthwatering sum Mikhail Baker plans to use to fulfill his dream of higher education. I feel happy, Baker 18 said in an interview on 11 Live this week. That's the young man. God bless him. God bless that woman that started that GoFundMe. I just want to say thank you to my parents and all the people that see the good in me and believe in me and donated the money to me. The online fundraiser reached the staggering goal within just 10 days of being established. Thousands of dollars trickled in across the first few days, but soared to six figures when a heartwarming story was shared across social media and news outlets, quickly disseminating the goal, $60,000 goal. Donors included thousands of well-wishers, most of whom were strangers. Remember, this money is for you, not for mama, the church, or others in need. It's an investment in your future. Invest in yourself wisely, and you have much more to share with others down the road. One anonymous donor wrote. The incredible saga sprouted from what fundraising organizer Maria Mendoza thought was a simple TikTok video that she shared without thinking. A baker working at the fast food chain with his graduation stole and medal still around his neck. The 18-year-old picked up the shift at the Cola Georgia restaurant where he worked after seeing the late night rush on May 21st, despite crossing the graduation stage at Mills Creek High School just hours earlier. He was so kind, so polite, Mendoza told the outlet, radiating joy even after such a big day. His dedication and quiet strength really moved me. I felt called to do something to recognize that. She returned to the chain a few days later to reveal the hefty donations and the team was brought to tears over the generosity. Baker revealed the uncertainty he faced post-graduation because of financial restrictions, but was hoping to go to trade school. I'm just grateful I get to do something for him, Mendoza said. He inspired me. And like that one person wrote, I know they wasn't being fresh. The money is not to be given so somebody can buy a house. It's so he can fulfill his college dreams. Listen, I'm about to close out. Anybody want to say anything about the update before I close out?
I hope with that kind of money, because it come from zero to all this money.
Right.
I hope and pray that his parents are the kind of parents that need a new car, a whole bunch of other stuff. Because a lot of times these people get the money, get this kind of money. It don't have to be from a GoFundMe, places like St. Jude's where people, and you would think somebody, the reason I say this is because I know a friend who has a friend whose child had, I think it was cancer or something like that. And they went to St. Jude's. You know, St. Jude's don't charge anything. And they got donations and donations and donations. They bought a truck. They bought a boat. They bought all that good stuff. Hold on, right? They bought all that good stuff. I just hope he stays grounded and, you know, his parents have, you know, a path of what they're going to do. We're going to start off, we're going to do this 4-year college. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. You know, we have enough money. We can get the second year, you know, all for him. Because that's a lot of money when people come into money like that. And he's still a child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the parents will have some type of influence. You know, we don't know anything about this gentleman, his family. His family and stuff. So I just hope, you know, we get a good report that, you know, 4 years down the line, you know, he's graduating, he's getting his next degree, going for his master's, then his PhD, whatever, you know, because that's a lot of money he can really put to use for his education. That's it.
100%. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for spending Sunday night with me. Don't forget, if you didn't hit the like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody.